Welcome to my Generative AI channel. I'm Farid Belamecha, and today I will present a comparison of 3 agent frameworks using LLMs. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video and want to see more. I've chosen 3 popular agent frameworks: Microsoft AutoGen, CrewAI, and LangGraph. I used OpenAI's GPT-4 mini model via its API. I'll select a common use case and attempt to highlight the strengths and weaknesses of each framework. So, make sure to stay until the end of the video to see the conclusions and determine if there is a clear winner. The use case is an analysis of a stock using data from Yahoo Finance and Warren Buffett's investment principles. I will ask the agent to perform a stock analysis and provide a recommendation rating. Of course, this is only an example to demonstrate how these frameworks work, and is not intended as investment advice. LangChain and LangGraph are among the oldest players in the arena. It is an open-source framework that is an extension of LangChain based on directed cyclic graphs and with state management. It allows for real-time streaming, allows for agent coordination according to various patterns, and it is also the most mature in terms of execution environment for production. We will implement the stock analysis use case with the React design pattern. The React design pattern consists of an agent with an LLM that uses various tools, and the agent, the LLM, determines at each step which tool to use until it arrives at the result and completes its workflow. We see on the right a start, we send a message, so this will be our prompt with the instructions. The chatbot determines at each step whether it needs a tool. If yes, it goes to the tool's state, and it will call the right tool. For example, Yahoo Finance tool to read information about the stock NVIDIA with Yahoo Finance, or to read Warren Buffett's guidelines. The main one will use a read file tool, or, at the end, to write on a file analyze.md the file tool, write tool to write the result. Of course, there is a step where there is an analysis, and it is done by the chatbot's LLM. In the end, if the chatbot determines that it has achieved its goal, it will exit and finish at the end of the workflow. The heart of the workflow of this graph is in the chatbot. We have the prompt where we indicate that this bot is a financial analyst who will use the Yahoo Finance tool to fetch information about a given stock, notably a last case that will use the read tool to read Warren Buffett's in the file, Warren Buffett Investment Principles.txt, which it will use these principles to carry out an analysis and a recommendation by rating the stock from 1 to 10, and which will be used to conduct an analysis and a recommendation. And finally, it will use the write tool to write in a markdown file, analyze.md, the final result. Here is the analyze.md file that was generated by this React agent. We can see the financial data, the analysis according to Warren Buffett's principles, and at the end the recommendation with a rating of 7 out of 10 for the stock NVIDIA. One of LangGraph's strengths is its execution environment. Indeed, we have several functions. We have multiple ways to execute the server, either with a local server, a LangGraph, simply in development mode, as you can see on the left, or in a Docker container locally, or in the cloud, or in SaaS mode. We also have a langsmith studio to track the execution of our bot step by step, which is a big advantage over other frameworks. The code of this graph is on the right. Although it is not highlighted, it is on the right. It's complicated. We still see that there is a graph built with a graph builder and state management made in the state graph. We also see the use of tools, such as the File Management Toolkit, which allows us to have Read tool, Write tool, and List tool. We use another tool that we have in a separate file, which is the Yahoo Finance tool. We use GPT-4 using OpenAI ChatPlace. And finally, we build the nodes and edges of this graph in React mode, namely a chatbot and tools. On the left, we see the graph configuration. This file is required if we want to execute this graph in the LangGraph server. It is now time to take stock. What we can see is that LangGraph is complex. There is no state graph management, and one must understand agent design patterns like the React pattern to harness its full power. It is far from intuitive. I myself spent several hours trying to understand it. However, it is extremely powerful, and it is truly an approach aimed solely at developers. One of the major strengths of LangGraph is its integration with langsmith for monitoring and langsmith Studio for visualizing the execution. And finally, the environment. It is a setup that allows for execution locally with LangGraph Dev Server, either in the cloud in self-hosted mode, in a container, or finally in the cloud in SaaS mode. This brings us to the end of the first part of this comparison. If you want to learn more about CrewAI and try it for yourself, feel free to clone the repository linked in the description. In the meantime, subscribe and like the video so you don't miss the next parts of this comparison. Take care and see you soon.